For the longest time, I told myself I'd never take a GLP-1. I thought it was cheating, to be totally honest. I thought if I needed medication to lose weight, then I wasn't working hard enough. I wasn't doing it the right way. That somehow my weight loss would be less than somebody who did it naturally. And that it would kind of destroy all the progress I made with the good habits that I've been building, with all the skills that I've, added to my tool belt, and that the second I quit taking it, that I would just like rebound because I would rely on it too much. But there was one person that put it in a really good way, and that perspective just completely changed my mind on it and inspired me to try one. And that's what I want to discuss today, is how not just the weight loss and not only my GLP-1 journey, which I will document, don't worry, but is more like how your mindset creates your reality and your drive to go through with something, to see things to the fullest. And that's really what my channel is going to be about: creating habits, building resiliency, but more importantly, changing your mindset about the ways that you can go about things to ensure that you can get to your end goal. I'm going to document my journey here so that everybody can kind of see, like, while I'm going through it. I noticed there's a lot of folks that, don't start filming or making anything until after they've lost the weight, and then they're kind of backtracking when they're filming. And as somebody who's going through it, I wish I had more channels that I could watch, and like see what people are doing to get over those hurdles, because, a lot of people make a list and whatever, and that's all good, but I need to see it in real time. And I was like, you know what? Might as well show what I'm doing, because I finally feel like I've gotten some progress. And the GLP-1s helped me a bit with that. So if you're on your own health journey, or if you're just curious about why I changed my mind, then welcome to my page. My name is Lexi, and I'm glad you're here. Come with me on my GLP-1 journey to not just lose weight, but to create a better mindset and build good habits and make some lasting change for once. All right, so going to the beginning, I already had a lot of good habits in place before starting GLP-1. I have worked with a couple different trainers. I've done so much research on exercising, nutrition, mindset, rest, everything like that for the last umpteen years. And I've been slowly building these habits and these good tools to have along the way. But the issue is I've never been able to stay as consistent as I need to be in order to get to the end of my goals, because I have a lot of setbacks. Unfortunately, being in a larger body and having a smaller frame, like I'm only 5'2", and I weigh 219 pounds now, but I was 236. That's a lot. And I've worked a lot of hard jobs. I used to be a butcher. I'm currently in nursing school because, being blue collar wasn't hard enough. I need to go into nursing, but but anyways, I have a lot going on physically with my body and also mentally with my body. And a lot of those things would cause a lot of setbacks. Every time I took 2 steps forward, I'd take 1 step back, sometimes 2 steps back. And after the aha moment, the light bulb moment that I had when I heard another bodybuilder talking about PEDs and how those are kind of used in bodybuilding, I had like my aha moment and was like, oh, this is a way that I could be using those, and that can help me out, but also not make me completely reliant on them. The GLP-1, not the PEDs. I'm not going to take those, but to each their own. But I'm not there. I'm not at that point right now. But I had that moment and it changed my mind about the GLP-1s. And I was like, man, okay, maybe I could use this as a tool, that thing to get me through all those lulls or any of those setbacks. So I still have something kind of operating constantly in the background for me. So that way, if it is a moment where I have to take a back seat on my fitness or on my eating or something like that, for most people, this might look like, maybe, oh, you have a vacation or life just gets a little busy for a while. But I feel like for me, it's like when my emotions, my mental health kind of get out of sorts and I'm really stressed out and dealing with school, it's finals week, everything's nuts. or physically when my body's failing me. I have a lot of inflammation, a lot of old injuries, and stuff like that, and things just love to flare up. Like, for example, the last few weeks, my foot has just been like going off. I've hardly been able to walk, and that interferes with my ability to exercise. But having that GLP-1 kind of operating in the background helps me feel confident and like, okay, maybe I can't work out right now, but I can focus on still eating well, you know, and keeping myself afloat there. I can go do other activities that maybe don't require like me stepping on my foot like so much. Maybe I can like do a little bit of yoga, or like I live really close to a big lake. Maybe I can go swim for a little bit. And having the support of the GLP-1, you know, has really made that big difference. But most importantly is that my foundation is already there. If I was just relying on the GLP-1 alone, then anytime I had one of those setbacks, it was like, okay, I'm just relying on the fact that my appetite's suppressed. But to be honest, like, my appetite hasn't been like as dramatically suppressed as everyone else kind of makes it seem on online. And I don't know if that's because I'm taking a pill versus taking a shot, but with the pill and what I've been doing, I mean, I still think about food every once in a while. I still get a little craving for this or that, or if I see an ad for something, ooh, that looks good, you know, but I can stop myself now. I can stop myself and go, oh, you know what, nope, that's not part of our plan. Not gonna work. Or if it's something that I'm like, ooh, is there a substitute that I can use that would fit my plan? Or do I feel like I have the control to get whatever that little treat is or whatever that food is or something, and maybe I can put a smaller portion of it to fit my goals for that week, you know? So what can I do? And the fact that I stop and think about those things, that's how the GLP-1 is working for me in the background. You know, I still have to put it into my meal plan for the week. I still have to make the conscious effort and decision to see if that's something that's going to work out, and measure the macros, weigh everything, do all that stuff. I still have to lean on my good foundation. But to have a little something there that makes it so I don't just completely go off the rails when I see something really good, that's the game changer, really, with these. But yeah, so that's probably one of the biggest things that I felt was really freeing about the GLP-1 is like, oh, I can still use everything that I've been building and just add, and this is just a little topper, a little add-on, a little sprinkle, you know? And that's why it's been working great for me. So now to the light bulb moment. So the moment that really had me thinking about this was following one of the bodybuilders I follow. I love her podcast. It's called Your Gym Big Sister. It's by Emma Curvin, and she is amazing. If you want somebody who's gonna kick you square in the ass and get your ass up, like, get to work. that's her. She's that form of motivation. So when I really need like that tough love, I listen to her podcast, and it really gets me going. I have different podcasts that I listen to, and different books, different things that I use for different forms of motivation. So sometimes I need somebody to be my best friend. Sometimes I need somebody to be comforting and be this place of like safety for me when I'm feeling a little low, you know? And then sometimes I need that coach that's gonna come in and be like, I'd love to get out there. I'm like, okay. Like, you just need different forms. And I have all those different forms, which I'll make a video about later. But her in particular, she was talking about bodybuilding and people who use steroids and stuff like that. And she was talking about how a lot of people think that you can just like throw a bunch of PEDs onto a bad diet, onto a bad workout regimen and all this kind of stuff, and you expect these crazy like sebum level results, and it's just not going to happen. You have to have the good foundation. You have to be 90% on your shit, and then it's the 10% is that extra little boop, you know? And when she explained that and was so like upfront and frank about it, I was like, yes, okay, like that's awesome, because a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and I get it. It's a big thing in the bodybuilding world, you know. A lot of people like to pretend they're natty when they're not, and all this kind of stuff, and I don't care. I would love to do bodybuilding one day, and if I'm ever faced with having to go natural or not, or all those things, I mean, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, but I'm definitely not there right now. But I respect her for being honest about talking about that, and that it's not the end all be all. It's not this thing. 'Cause I know a lot of guys that are just like, oh, you just take a bunch of shots and then you're just jacked and everything's amazing. And it's just like, they're just talking. They've never actually tried these things. And to hear it from somebody who's like in that world and is like, dude, no, like that's not how this works. I had my light bulb moment with the GLP-1s, and I was like, oh my God, it's like the same thing. People keep saying it's like, oh, it's cheating, it's the easy way out, you know, just all these things that all the haters love to say. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? No, it's kind of the same. I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, you could like take the pill, take the shot, whatever, lose your weight on the GLP-1. But if you don't have that foundation, how are you going to cruise afterwards? You're going to rebound. Like, it's so obvious. And so I was like, okay, like, you know, I feel better about wanting to try this now. I feel like it's a little more okay. I feel like I'm not going to lose my foundation because now I have the mindset of, no, that foundation is the 90%. The medication's only the 10%. It's just that little extra booster. So what I did specifically is I made myself a timeline. I said, all right, you're only going to use it until this many months. And I set aside a budget for it so that I could pay for it. I'll go into that in a different video later of like what my plan was and how I decided to afford it and those sorts of things. Because let's be real, it ain't cheap. But I set myself a timeline. I was like, we're only going to use it to just get over this hurdle right here. Just to get our body, like specifically for me, my body is just heavy. It's hard to move around. I just needed to lose like enough weight off my body that it made it easier for me to push harder in the gym and to move more, to get my steps, to do all those sorts of things. To the extent of what I wanted to. I wanted to push harder and my body kept saying no. It kept going down. My foot would be hurt. My back would be hurt. Everything would start flaring up. I would get pain in places I never even had injuries. And it's just the result of having a really heavy body, you know? That's the truth of it. And for me, I was like, all right, let's make this body a little less heavy so I can go as hard as I want to, so I can get to my end goal. And that's why what she said stuck with me. And that's what made me, you know, try the GLP-1. I want to also say that, like, you know, when I finally decided to start, it wasn't this moment where I was like, screw it. I just like made a phone call. I was like, give me that pill. Send it to my house right now. Like, you know, I wasn't at this emotional low or like anything like that. I carefully like looked up everything about it, checked with my doctor multiple times, and even honestly, I checked with my psychologist too. You know, I checked with my therapist, and I was like, hey, this isn't gonna like, you know, like give me any weird side effects, all that stuff. Like, I went through this thoroughly. That's the type of person I am. I look through everything. And so I researched this for a long time, and I decided when I was gonna start, how long I was gonna take it for, what I was gonna do during it. It was all planned. I wasn't just like, oh, I guess I'm at my wit's end, so I'll take this pill and we'll see what happens. I have it very planned out, and so far it's been great. I've gone ultimately from 227 pounds is where I was at, 228, 29 sometimes if I had a little extra weight, water weight, whatever. So I was hovering between that 229 and 227. And when I started taking the pill, first they start you off on a little baby dose, so I was taking that. You only need to take it for 1 month and then jump up, but I decided to take it for 2. I wanted to smooth into this. Like I said, I didn't want to just boom, boom, boom. I'm not relying mostly on the pill. I'm relying on my good habits. And so I did the little baby amount again, but I've gone all the way down to 219. So I'm very, very happy about that. I've almost lost like the 10-pound mark. I know I could have gone harder and faster and lost, you know, more than that, but I'm still trying to keep some muscle mass, okay? I know I'm gonna have loose skin, that's just the way it's gonna go, but I want to try to minimize that. So if I can just go on a little less of a slope as I'm going down, then so be it. That's the trade-off that I decided to make. But seeing it work in real life has been great. It's really proven itself to me. It's working. It's helping me to stop and think before I make food decisions. It's been honestly really great for my inflammation. It's been helping a lot. You know, I still have my moments where I come in, but, and have like, you know, my injured foot. Lately my hand's been flaring up, but like overall, like I don't feel as like locked in and like stiff and everything like I normally do, which has been amazing. And it's been a really huge moment for me. And yeah, it actually, it prompted me to make this challenge, or not this channel, the channel. It prompted me to make this channel. You know, I really want to share my journey. I want to show people that it's like, there's a way to do this where you don't have to go to the extremes. You can use this as just like, you know, a little sprinkle, a little topper to your already good habits. And what I really wanted to show on this channel was like the journey of it. Because more than anything, if there's anything that I've learned, I have been trying to lose weight since forever. Like, let's be real, I've been overweight my whole life, like since forever, but actively with tools, you know, with trainers, all those sorts of things, you know, like really working towards it, not just hoping. It's been realistically since about 2022, it's 2026 now, so about 4 years. I've been gathering these tools, everything, but the hardest part has been shifting my mindset and creating systems. I didn't know I needed the systems. With the mindset, I knew it needed to change, but doing that work is rough. That's almost harder than getting in the gym, eating the chicken and rice, is confronting yourself. And there's ways to go about it where it's not so scary or harrowing. And that's what I really want to share. And on this channel, on my journey, in case anybody else is going through it, anybody else is feeling stuck, anyone else is, you know, afraid of facing themselves and facing the way that they think, that there's ways to do it. There's smart ways to go about it, and that you're gonna appreciate it in the end, and you're gonna love the resilience that you've built. You're gonna love the person that you're turning into, because I am, you know. So as always, with anything I say on my channel, take what fits for you, leave anything that doesn't. I'm sharing my own journey, what's working for me, what I'm doing. I'm not a trainer, not a medical professional yet. I mean, I'm in nursing school, but even when I become one, I'm not gonna share all that. That's not what my channel is gonna be about. It's showing you like what I'm dealing with, so that if anything resonates with you, you can take it and use it as well. Or maybe even just so people can feel a little less alone out there. You know, there's not a whole lot of us that are showing this part of the weight loss journey. Everybody always does it after they lose the weight. Show me the thick and thin of it. Show me the good, the bad, the ugly. That's what I'm here to see, at least. So if you're here to see all that too, of course, here it comes. Like, subscribe, and click the bell so that anytime I make a video, you'll be the first to see it. Thank you so much.